Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Building Modular. It is Tuesday. Can you believe it's Tuesday? Today is a great show. It's been one full year, 52 weeks, Jennifer, of Building Modular show. Can you guys believe it? 52 weeks we've been doing this straight and not missed one single day.
Well, one
single Tuesday.
We've definitely been tardy a couple of times, and we've definitely been on the fly a few times, but each week it's our pleasure to bring you life's lessons as it relates to using volumetric modular construction on Building Modular.
That's right. That's right. So today, Jennifer, before we get into our intro, we are going to talk about lessons learned. What have we learned? 20 years of Building Modular for one, and then a full year of doing these shows. We're going to talk about lessons learned, what our experience has taught us, what all of these interviews with all these wonderful people from around the world have taught us, and kind of where we're headed. I mean, we got some pretty big news coming up.
We do. And today's a special day because in honor of 52 weeks, we have an amazing giveaway today.
Ooh, we do have an amazing giveaway. Look. Hey, look at all the people that applied. That's right. We're gonna pull some names, and it's a free giveaway that's going. It's worth about $900 for this event. Some of you have asked to go, and we had some free giveaways for this conference, which is a huge conference, Mass Timber.
Yes, the International Mass Timber Conference, which is going on right now, so you don't want to miss it. This is your chance to win.
That's right.
Like Dave said, an all-access pass is $895. The content is accessible for many weeks to come, so you won't miss a beat, but you definitely want to get in on the major networking events with some of the biggest brand names and companies, innovators, intellectuals, thought leaders in the mass timber space.
Yeah, it's unbelievable the amount of speakers they have. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get free access to it because we know not everybody just has $900. You can go and just go to all these conferences and everything that's out there. But some of the speakers that are there are super big ticket speakers. You're going to have full access to everything. This isn't a partial pass. This is VIP all the way through. 2 of you are going to be lucky today.
2?
I think 2.
Oh my goodness. Always bending the rules. Always bending the rules.
Let's do 2.
I think it's great. I do. I think we've had such an amazing response and a really terrific community. And we thank you all for sharing our channel and sharing our message because we've learned so much from all of you.
We had lost so much hair because my brain keeps growing. That's right. So we have learned a ton from everybody. So thank you so much for all of your support. I see Ken Semler's out there from Impressa Modular Franchise. What is happening, Ken? Always a big supporter and one of the biggest modular home builders in the country with a franchise, and he builds in every state. Who builds in every state?
I know.
Ken Semler.
I know. Really terrific. And also producing some amazing content and valuable lessons. And I am sure Ken can attest to some of the things that we're going to share today in terms of what we've learned as builders using volumetric modular construction, and also from the community out there in terms of homeowners and people wanting to build a home using modular construction. What's their conversation all about?
And it's everywhere, and it's funny. We've been on these posts and blogs on Facebook and elsewhere in these groups, and I see Ken's team on there all the time answering questions. If you're not there, you need to be there. All right, let's hop into it, Jennifer. At Dave Cooper Live, we are bringing you the people and the processes that are building it better. Our guests include topics from building systems to building science, building codes, to the tech used to build it better. We are always seeking out the best and the brightest in the construction industry and discovering all the ways, innovative ways that building come to life. Man, can you believe we've been saying that for like 52 weeks now? I still can't get it off my tongue all the time. But listen, everybody, so grateful. So we have some big news today. We're going to get to it at the end of the show. We have some programming changes happen. We have some things we'll be releasing here in the near future, which is going to be a lot of fun. But right now, let's get to Building Modular. Let's get into this, and you're just going to have to wait to see who won.
Yeah, definitely.
Isn't that how TV shows do it?
I know.
Maybe we'll be back after this commercial break.
Right. Well, fortunately for all of you, there are no commercial breaks. It's typically a good 40 to 60 minutes of us rambling on, and hopefully there's some valuable nuggets mixed in between. But I mean, really, what have we learned? I mean, building has been in our background for a really long time. So for anybody out there who is a builder, regardless of the method of construction that you use, we're sure that you could commiserate and celebrate with us many of the things we're going to share today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the big thing about today's show in particular. There's a world of knowledge that we have gained. 52 weeks. I mean, that's interviewing, 5-10 people, and a lot of them don't even make the show because it's by invite only, and we need to make sure they're bringing value. So I don't know. I want to just get to the end of the show.
I know. Well, let's get through some content first.
All right, let's go. You're up, Jennifer. We'll get to everybody and say hello.
You're going to do that first?
Nope, you're going to go first.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
We're going to go first. I'm going to shut up.
Right. So it's hard to boil down all of the lessons that we've learned. And we'd love to hear from you some of the things that either we've missed or we should expand upon, or things that you've learned that have been really valuable to you and your client base. Or if you are someone looking to build a home using modular construction, what have you learned in this journey? Because there's a lot of participation involved. There's a lot of trust when you enlist somebody, when you hire a builder, right, to create the space in which you live your life.
Yeah.
And it's probably the biggest purchase that you'll make in a lifetime. I mean, that's a lot of pressure.
For most people, it is the biggest investment they'll ever make. They invest more with their builder than they do with their financial advisor at one shot.
Absolutely. And this is where dreams come true. This is where first moments happen, right? First baby footsteps, marriages, graduations, all of life's very special moments. And a lot of work is happening from that location right now as well. So when you think about all that needs to come out of that home, and when you think of all that goes into the home, there's a lot of talking. There's a lot of planning. There's a lot of building going on.
Yeah, I bet Ken out there could answer that one, right? Yeah. I mean, doing custom homes all over the country. I see Jerry McKay's in the house. What's happening, Jerry? Thank you for joining us today on our 52-week show. There is a lot of planning that goes into this. And I think one of the most important things with all of this planning and all the conversations that happen with the customer is exactly that, communication.
100%.
How important is communication?
And that is the one thing the theme that is going to continue throughout all of these bullet points we're going to cover today, because it's about strong communication within your team. It's strong communication with your client, with your customers, with your homeowners. It's strong communication, especially with your trade partners and everyone from the outside world that you need to help you along this way. Bankers, investors, engineers, building departments, building officials. There's a lot of folks that you need to work with in order to make this happen.
Just a handful, but guess what? With offsite construction, it's less.
It is. And that is where the value starts and does not end. There's fewer touch points.
Right.
The trade partners are more meaningful. And we'll get into that in one of our bullet points. But we're going to start with this episode with the biggest lesson I think that we've learned in building.
Mini-me.
Right?
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to reference a comment that Ben Hershey made yesterday. I think it was yesterday.
All right. So first of all, Ben Hershey, Forward Solutions Group. He's actually a big supporter and a sponsor of ours on Wednesday's show. So, but outside of that, I mean, probably the nicest people in the world and very
smart.
Intelligent when it comes to what they do. Yeah.
And as you would say, wicked smart.
Oh, that's why we're quoting them. Yeah, wicked smart. That's what we say in Pittsburgh.
And Boston.
It's not April Fool's yet, right? Yeah, it's Boston.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go, Jen. What did he say?
Okay, so let's go to the first banner, which is plan for challenges, because they are inevitable. And what Ben was referencing is how the blocked Suez Canal, right? Who could have predicted that one on the bingo card of supply chain disruption? It's one of the central lessons of the past year. Companies need to have a robust and active crisis plan in place.
Right.
Such plans include low probability but high impact events. Well, in this past year alone, we have bumped into things that were unpredictable to many people. But Dave, when you and I first started building together, going back to 2006, 2002, 2008, that's when we learned some of our biggest lessons.
Did we ever? You really want me to go into all those lessons? Well, we just had twins. You want me to go deep into it? We'll go deep into it now. But '08, yeah, everybody knows what happens in '08. You couldn't really predict when that was going to happen. We just started out at that very point in time, and everything just kept falling. The market started falling, and trying to plan for those challenges, knowing what we know now would have been a lot easier than what we were doing then. And we were not following the math. We weren't following the data. We were following our gut. I'll make the next sale. Don't worry. We'll get it. I'll talk to the banks. They won't pull that loan from the customer. This was kind of what's happening. Now, as a young person started out and building and starting our business at that very time, well, that was a real hard lesson to learn when the market crashed.
It was. And it was a lesson we took to heart, both personally and professionally. And our number one suggestion to all of you, the number one lesson that we have learned is create an emergency plan, create an emergency fund, have a backup plan in place, have succession plans in place, because anything could happen at any moment. If you are a family run business, been in business 20, 30, 40 years, what does that plan look like for you in terms of succession planning? Because guess what? Things happen.
That's right.
None of us are going to live forever. Outside events happen that can greatly impact your business.
Yep.
What does your emergency fund look like? How many months cash supply do you need on hand to get you through any type of event that might happen?
Yeah, listen, if you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, like a lot of contractors do out there, and people that are doing this, eventually they start Peter and Paul start tripping over each other, right? And I think that's one of the lessons learned, excuse me, and in all the conversations that we've had, Jennifer, we've talked to super successful people, we've talked to startup companies, and we've talked to everybody in between. And the one thing that really holds true with everybody that is going to that next level is they have a success plan in place. They have emergency contingencies in place. They're watching the numbers. Unfortunately, I know we all like to build, but it's truly a numbers game. You got to pay attention to what's happening, and you got to pay attention to what's happening in the market too.
100%. So this is not unique to volumetric modular construction, but the great news when you're working in offsite construction, the predictability, the control that you have over your supply chain and over your client base and over all of the moving parts is more significant, and there is less risk when you're using offsite construction, because you're not waiting on every single part and piece the way that a traditional on-site builder might be.
Well, that's right. It's easier to plan, right? You have less coordination, so to speak, when it comes down to the amount of moving parts on a job site. When you're partnering with your manufacturer or whoever you're working with, they're taking on the bulk of that organization.
Absolutely. So this is a lesson for everybody, as is our next lesson.
Oh, what's that, Jennifer?
So unfortunately, in this business, as home builders, new construction, residential remodeling, for all of us, there is a stigma attached. There are hurdles that we need to get over, and we've covered this on one of our shows early on. When you're talking about promoting the benefits of offsite construction, is all builders have to overcome hurdles, right? Yeah. They never call back. They're always late. They never show up. These are stigmas that are out there, and it's incumbent on all of us to break those stigmas.
Well, it is incumbent for all of us to break the stigma, and I have to tell you, I think it's starting to happen. And, you see Jerry, Ken, Andrew Seeley, and we'll put some comments up in a minute. I think we're all starting to see the stigma change, right? And I think one of the things as we move forward in all of this and we start really defining our industry and what our industry is and what these moving parts and pieces and different volumetric, modular, offsite, whatever the case is, it's really going to gain a lot of traction and be good for all of us.
Yeah. So what we learned along the way as it relates to this is, number one, many clients will come in naysaying your product or naysaying your process, number one. Number two, everybody on your team, everybody who works for you, anybody who answers the phone, delivers the mail, drives the truck, everybody on your team is in sales.
Everybody is in sales. It's a culture. It really is. It's a culture, and not only are they in sales, but the words that they choose to use when they do run across a customer is super important, whether it's in the office or on a job site. there are certain things that we should all be saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this goes back to the theme of communication.
That's right.
So whatever your story is as a builder, whatever your, oh gosh, now the word escapes me, but whatever you stand for, whatever your
Culture,
value proposition is, that's what I was looking for. Whatever that is, make sure everybody on your team, especially the folks that may not be part of all of the important meetings or may not be part of all of the big conversations. Right. They need to know the language that your company uses. They need to know your why, your how, and what sets you apart. Because the last thing you need somebody to do when they're out, whether it's at a ball game, the grocery store, if they're wearing a shirt that has your company logo on, and right. and a potential client starts asking questions, the last thing you want is that person to say, I know modular construction, modular homes,
You're sounding like Simon Sinek, right? People buy why you do it, not what you do or what you, something like that. They buy why you do it. And if you look at people, and I know I keep using Jerry and Ken and people that are in the audience, but they're here. It's very true. If you look at the passion, they've been doing this a long time. Jerry's family started in Ireland with this, and he does it because he believes in it. It's not just a business. It's in their culture. It doesn't make sense to him why everybody's not using it, right? That's where this strength comes from. And this is what you want everybody to impart, that same energy from your team to the field, to the consumer.
Absolutely. And again, language matters, communication matters. Make sure everybody on your team is using the same language, because there are tons of people out there who still think that modular homes appraise for less. Modular homes are more expensive. These are the conversations that are happening online and the myths that get perpetuated constantly. We all need to be ambassadors in this business.
Yeah, we definitely do. We definitely do. All right, Jennifer, then what? What about our trade partners?
This is...
What about them? I mean, they're part of our team, aren't they?
And this is where Offsite Construction really wins, because the value of your trade partner network is everything. And when we say that, Dave, who is the biggest trade partner in this scenario?
Would that be the manufacturers, Jennifer?
The manufacturer.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely the manufacturer. So I know I'm being a little snide and just having some fun, but your manufacturers are a partner. They are not a vendor that you just place an order like Amazon. It shows up and something's not working and you call them and you yell and you scream and they either fix it or don't. Your partners are your team members from the manufacturer. And guess what? They have hundreds of team members. So whether you're a small builder of just one or you have a team of 100 people, you increase your team and your partnership with these manufacturers, and you fix problems together, you come up with solutions together, you build together. And that's the biggest mistake we see a lot of people making in this industry. They go into it, look into point fingers right away versus work through the process and really truly understand it. Because as a builder, you need to understand your role in the process.
Absolutely. And we've heard this from almost every single manufacturer we've spoken to. We had a terrific show with Alex Berlin from Rochester Homes. And Alex, we asked him, on our show, what's the one thing, that you wish?
Great book, by the way. I'm reading it again right now. The One Thing. Get it if you don't know it.
Right. And this is, again, a theme throughout today's show. What is your one thing? And when we asked Alex that question, who is super young, super jazzed about our industry, doing great things, working with developers, like building whole entire neighborhoods. So this is not a one-off type of thing. He said, I really wish more builders would look at us as their partner, as their friend, as their enabler, because their success is our success. Our success is their success. It's a very symbiotic relationship, and he really phrased it really well.
He did. You'll really find out in the manufacturing process, why there may be or may not be some limitations to certain things. But then that's when the creative juices start flowing. So I remember when we were doing it, we've spent so much time just talking about the process and coming up with sketches and say, well, if we do this, we can get that span, or we can achieve this if we turn this. So it's not a one size fits all. They're looking for quality builders. They're looking for people with great minds to help keep going on this journey, because guess what? The market changes, everything changes.
It does. And your manufacturer can feed you leads. right? So they're a lead gen source. So think about it that way. They're a service provider, and they help you really smooth out a lot of bumps in the road, you know, by working together with them. So really lean into them as a valuable asset to your business, an extension of your business.
Yeah, very, very much so. Very much so. I actually, I mean, we've become friends with so many of the manufacturers that we work with, and I think it's great. Been to their cabins, everything. They even want to take our kids hunting. I love it, even to this day. So build that. All right. So with that, Jen, we want to build into our strengths, right? We want to move into our strengths. We want to do what's right for us and the consumer on our end. And how do you go about defining that, Jen?
Absolutely. So this again references something that Aaron from Blockable said or was promoting not too long ago. Stop building snowflakes, right? These one-off homes, these reinventing the wheel every single time. There is a tremendous value to the repeatable or building a repeatable and scalable business. Now, we're not talking about building cookie cutter homes, but what we're saying is don't say yes to every single client who comes on board and says, I want this, I want that.
Right.
If it's outside of your wheelhouse, if it's outside of what you normally do, there are going to be some learns along the way. Maybe it will be successful, maybe it'll be fine, but really build into your strengths. If you are known for a certain style of home or a certain craft, really embrace that, promote that, celebrate that, and don't try to be everything to everybody.
No, do not. So Jennifer brings up a good point, but here's where some of the what we've been doing over the years is really great. Right now, I mean, I can think of several different companies that are working on software that can translate every custom home for a manufacturer into an automated system that will allow you to be a little bit more adventurous outside of your normal world. But if I'm hearing you correctly, Jennifer, if you want to scale, you have to set some parameters. Those one-offs can throw you way off track. And sometimes saying no is more profitable than saying yes. Hear me now. Saying no and knowing who you are and what your product is and who your consumer is your way of winning in the home building industry. If you stay in your lanes and you do it better than anybody else out there, you do it better and you just focus on that, the one thing, you're going to be super uber successful. You're going to build a lot of houses in or multifamily or commercial, and you're going to rock the world. I mean, if you look at developers, most developers have their set of plans on what they already do. And then they find the land that works and fits for what they've already designed because they know their costs on it. Look at the hotel business. They somehow look all the same almost.
Yeah, I mean, and you have to be careful. Like we give this advice with a little bit of caution because we're not saying don't try anything new. We're not saying don't expand upon your learnings. We're not saying don't introduce a new product line to your mix that's already working. What we're saying is just decide what type of builder you want to be and then offer that value and that repeatability, because the process, the refining the process and curating that process is where your scalability and profit lies. That's where that really lies. So what we're saying is, if you want to be a high performance builder, be a high performance builder. But if you're not in that game and somebody comes to you and says, I want to build a super high performance home, that's okay. Just bring in the right people on your team to help you make that happen. Know that that first one will always be a challenge. And learn. You might want to layer in things as you go and not always swing for the fences.
But isn't that the case with modular construction in general? When people are switching to modular, even from site built, it takes 2 or 3 projects before you finally figure it out. The workflow is different than when you're site building. You assume more than you probably should assume in the beginning on how much is done or what's not done. But, there's ways around that too. I mean, there's people out there, there's all these people out there that work with people to help them understand and streamline what the process is. But getting back to your point, just be good at what you do, pick a lane, because not only you'll be happy, your staff will be happy, your team members, people in the field, your trades. If they know how to step and repeat and they know what the level of quality is, the level of finish, they understand what airtightness means to you and what your product is, you can go anywhere. So amazing. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Who says this? I know a guy named Finishworks. Is that his name, Finishworks?
Oh my gosh, Harris Woodward of Finishworks.
Mr. Finishworks.
Amazing volumetric modular homes out of Maryland. Had him on a building science show.
I know. I mean, come on. Listen, I mean, I had no idea Harris was so brilliant. No, I'm just kidding. I've known Harris for a long time. But you're absolutely right. He has found a way in his niche. Is that right? Niche or niche?
Mm-hmm.
His niche is high performance homes out of the box, basically. He has designed systems and worked in partnership with his manufacturer to come up with a standardized product that he builds over and over and over again. So he gets the repetitive results of his net zero. I always say net zero energy ready homes, because if you don't live in it, like you're trying to save and you keep your windows open and the air conditioning, it's not really net zero. So,
right.
But with that said, yeah, I mean, high performance can be off the shelf. You just got to plan and partner with your factory that you choose to work with and design it.
Absolutely. So it's about creating those specifications, creating that, guidebook, if you will, of what goes into your homes. I mean, essentially what we all want to do is create really tight building envelopes, which number one can be achieved with precision-based construction, right? Yeah. So that's why out of the gate, you definitely have an advantage as it relates to offsite construction. You're in a controlled environment, your cuts are neat, your corners are square. There you have it.
There's more.
Tell me.
There's more. There's time efficiency, there's cost savings, there's liability reduction. Oh, don't get me started, Jen, come on. That's not what the show's about today. Hey, why don't we say hi to some people?
Yeah, definitely.
Before I get myself in trouble. All right. Hey, look, we have Sherry on the show. Hey, Sherry, thank you for joining today. Dave Cooper, good morning. Dave, why aren't you outside enjoying the sunshine? Well, because if I was outside enjoying the sunshine, I wouldn't be here with everybody out there, in there.
Exactly.
You people. So that's why we're here. Because, I mean, this is what we do, and we love it. And yeah, we will be enjoying the sunshine in a little bit for sure. I love it. Oh, look, Ken's been plugging away here. He said, wow, 52 weeks. I know. Can you believe it, Ken? Can you believe it? Ken had another comment down here. Let's hop to it real quick. Dave, I remember when you started this and you told me your goal was to do this for 1 full year every week. You did it. Take next week off.
That is so funny that you say that, Ken, because actually next week is a big spring break week for all of the kids. So that's funny that you say that. I'll have to put that request into my boss.
That's right. And he's going. Can't wait to see what you have to share today. Love it. Ken Semler, Impressa Modular Franchising, Impressa Modular Homes. I think it's Impressa Modular Consulting too, right? Who knows? Yeah. My goodness. All right, moving down the road. Hey, what's happening, Mr. McCahey from Integra, CEO, founder, and brilliant mind. Congrats to you both for great information that you have provided. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Before you move to the next comment, I just want to expand on something that Jerry had said when he was on one of our recent shows.
Recent, like the last three, maybe, or two.
But, talk about award-winning builder, right? Winning all sorts of awards for home design, manufacturer of the year, new website, right? All of these awards. And when you congratulate him, he deflects and says it's our team. It's the people who are part of our organization, all sharing the same goal, all sharing the same vision, and working toward that. So that's a really terrific example of leadership.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Jerry really does. He always pushes off to everybody else, and he's right. Jerry's the face of the company. He's the spokesperson. He's out there running. I mean, he is making this, he is the top guy there. But at the same time, he really has a culture where his team has a lot of responsibility and the ability to make change happen. Jerry's he has a cool accent, so he can he can deliver the information a lot more fun than I can.
Yeah, right.
All right, good to see you, Jerry. All right, we got David Mowry. Hey, Dave, how are you guys doing? We're doing good, David. How are you, man? I hope all's well. Thank you for tuning in today and listening to us jabber along. And, of course, you got Mr. Andrew Seeley. 52 weeks, mega milestones, you legends. So yeah, I've been working out. He knows I put my arm up.
Gosh. Well, we have to give a special shout out to Andrew, because when we first started this journey, he was probably cheering us on during the moments he didn't know that we really needed it most. Because when we were starting out, I mean, it was overwhelming, right? The pandemic had just hit, and we were trying to line up all of these guests. And it was through the support and encouragement of Andrew and others who really helped us stay the course, and really build this community. So a big thank you and shout out to Andrew and his show on G-Pods. I mean, how fun was that show? When we did his product spotlight on G-Pods.
Still waiting for mine in the backyard.
So much enthusiasm and engagement around that show. It was really fun.
You know what? Andrew, can we put wheels on a G-Pod and turn it into a motorhome by chance? Wouldn't that be cool if the whole glass side opened up? We wouldn't have anywhere to stay. There wouldn't fit, I guess. But I love it. Collect your own rainwater. Yeah, G-Pod's doing amazing things. Andrew's a super busy guy. But you're absolutely right. So we appreciate all of you. But, you know, thinking about our conversation and being consistent, staying true to what you're doing and where you're headed, I guess kind of what we're talking about almost falls into what we did the last 52 weeks. Right? I mean, it grew. Like there's a trajectory. We said we're going to keep our heads down. We're going to focus on making big change in the industry. And when we say change, bringing people together, collaboration, conversation to see where the industry goes. And I mean, it's really turned into something special. I mean, amazingly special. Can't wait to share what's coming up with you guys here near the end of the show. After we do some awards. You hear it, Jen? Who's the winner?
I know.
Who's the winner?
I can't wait to see, because it's really been fantastic. So, but seriously, this is all about sharing our lessons with you and hopefully smoothing out some of those bumps along the way. Because really, as we advance, as we gain more traction and we bring more people into offsite construction, modular construction, modern methods of construction, regardless of which system you choose to use.
Whoa, what is that? Say it again?
I know. Well, that's a topic we're definitely going to talk about. But regardless, it's all about building systems, right? It's a system. It's a process. And as we all know, the profit is in the process.
Oh, you know what? I have a banner for that. No, I don't. Do I? I did.
Somewhere in there. I know.
Somewhere in there. All right, Jennifer. So here we go. We went down through, you know, high performance can be off the shelf. We finished up with that. Finish works. Let's get into the client experience and how invaluable this part of the process is to your success.
I have so much to say on this topic, and I'm going to reference another show.
I'm gonna go get a drink.
I know, right? We had John Sicilian on from Sicilian Partners talking about the user experience, the client experience on a very macro level, and really sharing with the audience that your technology budget and your marketing budget, your technology approach and your marketing approach are two totally different things, but need to work together. So what does that mean? That means that you need to take a look at your website. Is it user friendly? You need to take a look at your communication style with your clients. Are you communicating with them in a way that they are receptive to? We talked about this with Mark Mitchell, building materials marketing expert. You need to figure out how your client is communicating to you, and then you need to respond in kind. So if they're the kind of person that picks up the phone, don't email them.
Pick up the phone.
Exactly. Or if they're the kind of person that sends you a text message, but that's kind of outside your comfort zone, guess what? You need to meet them where they're at.
That's
so the client experience is as small as just how you engage with your clients, and can be as big as how do your clients engage with your website, with your digital platforms, with the way that you're communicating. Because guess what? What do you say in every Building Modular show? If you're not a repeat business,
you're a startup company each and every day, 100%. But I want to elaborate on something you said. So meet them where they're at, but don't let them own you.
Correct.
Set parameters, you know, just like you do with children and anybody else. You know, if somebody's texting you at 7 o'clock at night, you do not need to respond. You know, I usually set the parameters up front, and I tell people when I'm available. If it's an emergency, that's one thing. But, you know, because during this process, people get to know you, become buddy. If you're doing it the way that we did it, where we were doing videos and YouTubing it and putting it all out there, people actually walk in as if they know you. They start having a conversation with you, right? And so that relationship is really advanced. Before you know it, oh, just one more question at 7 o'clock at night when you're home, or just one more, right? They're not doing it intentionally to be mean or rude. They're excited about their product and they're saying, wow, I'm going to spend, $300,000 or $500,000 or $1 million, set the expectations up front, let people know your availability, how you communicate, how they like to communicate, and then work with them. It's really easy. And they like it because they know when you're going to respond and get back to them.
Right. So the client experience starts with one word, and that is communicate, right? It's at its lowest level. Think about communication and silence on your part as the builder in times of when things are good or when things are bad. Silence is your enemy as it relates to your customer.
Yeah, for sure. It is your enemy when it relates to your customer, for sure. All right, Jennifer. So the customer experience also comes down. We talked about this a little bit earlier, words you use. We're not going to get into all that, but think of your vocabulary. The biggest tip we always give everybody is don't say, here's your quote. Don't say, here's your estimate. What do we say, Jennifer? What do we say, and what do we want everybody out there to use so they do it differently?
Yeah, this is where language comes in, because it's their biggest investment. It's the investment of a lifetime.
Right.
So it's not a contract. It's not, anything scary like cost and contract. Like, don't use those words. Yes, that's what you're saying, and yes, that's what you need to communicate.
Yep.
But using things like, here's your investment summary, or here's the paperwork, here's the agreement. It's a friendlier tone. It's still the same thing.
That's right.
But it's a little less scary. It's a little more promising, and it's really about building for tomorrow. And those are some examples of language that you can use and embrace and have your whole team use.
Oh, let's give them one more. What about those are standard options.
Oh, right. Right.
Give them one more, Jennifer. I know we're giving it away. Let's give it away.
Well, we have a whole show on this, the importance of language. So if you look back in the archives, you'll definitely find it. It's not about the standard offering. Please, nobody wants standard. Do you go into a car dealership and say, I'd like to buy the standard car, please? No, that's not what you do.
Well, but that's only hubcaps. You need to add wheels to it. All right. I'm with you. Hey, let's say I had a couple more people, Jennifer.
Absolutely.
We got a long show today, it looks like. So, all right, Todd Buerther. Hey, buddy. Congratulations from Mass Timber Systems. Let's talk volumetric CLT soon. We're glad to see these two worlds finally collide. Isn't it cool?
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. In fact, one of our headlines last week or the week before was Mass Timber plus modular construction equals perfect marriage. Because there are so many synergies, there are so many ways to bring it together.
Yeah, for sure. Todd, thank you. All right, Andrew, glad we got to see and support you all in the early days. Was so amazing to watch, and always proud of what you've done and will yet to do. Maybe not ready for G-Pod motorhome, but we can definitely haul on trailers if your rig can handle them. I love it. I love it. Hey, listen, we get out to Austin, Texas, man. Guess where we're staying?
Definitely, we'll be out there for sure.
Well, you and I are going to be in a G-Pod. We're going to leave the kids in our motorhome.
Leave the kids in the motorhome, and we'll stay in the resort.
That's right. Andrew, you can come hang out with us since you own it. I love it. Oh, my good buddy, Etienne. Hey, buddy, how are you? Congratulations on the anniversary. Well, thank you. Oh, look, he has another one. All right. Where's the Offsite dictionary, Dave Cupedia? Let's go. You know what, Jennifer? That's funny. Cupedia.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, listen, Etienne, stay tuned for the end of the show. We have some things coming up. We're going to start teasing some things, but we have some deadlines that we have going on. We are going to start making some bold comments and changes in where we're headed. So stay tuned. And we're also giving away. Etienne, did you put your name in this for the free pass?
Well, Etienne is busy. Siga's at the Mass Timber Conference.
Oh, are you there right now, Etienne?
I'm pretty sure.
All right, I'm doing as a sponsor. I'm there. I know it's virtual.
Yeah, it's all virtual.
Oh, put a link up there, Etienne, where you are over there. Etienne's a huge supporter. Siga, CEO of Siga North America. I am a certified air barrier doctor.
Oh my gosh.
I went through Siga training.
Oh my God.
You want to learn something valuable? Go through Siga training. I'm telling you.
For sure. So that
was amazing.
the importance of trade partners, right? That is a terrific example of how they built this training center in New Hampshire.
Yep.
Free access, or a lot of learning opportunities to go there, have a hands-on experience, and actually use their product with confidence, right? So you know what you're doing, how to do it. Really terrific process.
Yeah, it really was. We did a video on that, so that's on our YouTube channel of us being there. We really did. Got to go through the training, had a blast. Oh yeah, there he is. Etienne, we are an exhibitor and I present tomorrow. Excellent. Oh man, tell me the time. Tell me the time. I haven't heckled anybody in a long time. I'm excited.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh man, I wish you the best, Etienne. Good work.
Yeah.
You guys are really rocking it out there with your new product. And hey, listen, about mass timber too. Well, they have a new product where they're waterproofing the mass timber. Might as well promote it. If you're in the mass timber business or other business, this product is for you. You want to watertight your structure when you set it?
Well, let's hope you all entered to win a free pass to the International Mass Timber
Conference.
Conference.
Yeah, because you could listen to Etienne speak tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
And he has a great accent too.
Absolutely.
Great accent. I wish I had an accent.
All right, where are we?
I don't know. We're just chatting, Jen.
I know. We get thrown.
All right, where are we at? We did that. Okay, here we are. Punch lists. Do they really exist? Come on. If you're still doing a punch list, really? The punch lists drive me crazy, right? You're there for 90 days if you're a good builder or less. You're there for 120 days if you're an offsite, whatever the case is. You're walking through each and every room every single day. The whole idea of punch lists just boggles my mind. But they do exist.
Right. But what does it come back to, Dave? Your favorite soapbox? Checklist and coordination.
I know, I see it. I'm having fun. Checklist and coordination. That is right. I mean, how many people, with our crew, when a house arrives and we get through the first couple of days of, putting the modules on, we have one specific person and their job is to touch everything in the unit. I mean, that's putting your fingers around every window frame, opening and closing, cleaning out, crawling on your hands and knees, touching all of the trim. Why? Because it helps you not overlook something. Finish off the rooms that are already somewhat completed, shut the door, put a note on it, move on. Now, but a lot of people don't do that, right? Everybody gets busy. Let's build this. Let's get this, all this other stuff. And you got to get the basement stairs if you have basements and all that in so the mechanical people can work and you can organize. But yeah, punch lists. I became obsessed with not having punch lists. You always have a little something here and again at the end as you finish up, right? You finish those last few things, you want to clean it up. But man, that punch list shouldn't be more than a couple things.
Yeah, and even with your checklists, I mean, we are not in the business of having everybody go out there and create a checklist that is, 50 million pages long. That's not what this is about. What it is about is, did you check the important things? Did you, what are you supposed to do on set day, especially on the day that the modules are installed, because there's a lot of energy on that day. The homeowners might be there, the neighbors might be out. There's going to be a lot of distractions. So this is one example of where checklists and coordination, who's doing what and what are they checking before everybody goes home on that first night or second night if installation goes into that second day. This is where you start for sure, as a volumetric modular builder, because this is where if you're a traditional site builder, this is where it could be dramatically different from what you're doing previously.
Yeah, the devil's in the details. Everybody hears it all the time. Devil's in the details. You need to be coordinated with your staff, with your team members, whatever you use, right? Your partners, have checklists. And it takes training. Don't just hand it to somebody. Mm-hmm. This is going to take you 2 or 3 homes of always being there. You're always teaching, always training. But go over it until it becomes habitual. And eventually you will find that quality and culture and those checklists and all those things, it'll just become a normal thing. And then you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, what, we're done? Yeah, we're done. We're done? Really? We're done? I'm not waiting for the customer to give me my punch list? No.
Right. And going back to the 0 punch list, this is what helps you sleep at night. When you set goals for the day, you know what needs to be achieved, you know what needs to be checked. You're not waking up in the middle of the night thinking to yourself, oh, did I do this? Or, oh, did I do that? So again, we're not advocating that you create 5 million spreadsheets with 50 million items on them each, but really think about what's important to your business, what you need to make sure goes right and goes well, and make sure that happens. Here's easy, giveaway examples, as it relates to installation and your set day. I mean, calling the power company, make sure on that day of
same
installation,
day
you call the power company, right? Because if you forget to do that and days and weeks go by, the trickle effect of that, the downstream effects of forgetting to do that on that very first day, could really add days, if not weeks, to your process. So,
and just to clarify, because I know some of you are out there going, call the power company on the first day. You should have temporary power there to begin with already set up so you can start working. But like, where we were building in New England, it could take you weeks, if not months, for the power company to actually show up and connect you. And guess what? You can't call them up there until the house is there, so they can send their layout engineer or whoever by to check it. And I don't know how many times we had everything planned out, engineering, all the approvals, and then the power company shows up and goes, we're going to put a new pole over there instead. We're going to run the power to the other side. And I'm going, that means I got to do a quick disconnect, and I got to run it over there. Who's paying for that, me or the customer, right? That's what starts happening. So you want to get all those things out right away.
Right. And I'm going to jump ahead a little bit here and go to our last bullet, because if it can happen, it will happen. So in this example,
Murphy?
And when we share with you the examples and the hurdles we bumped into, it's not to scare you. It's to just help you avoid them yourselves. Because if it can snow 3 feet of snow in October in New England,
it will.
It will. I mean, it's happened and that just threw the power companies off for weeks. So thankfully we had, been timely and effective with all of our clients at that time.
Right.
But if we had pushed it out a week, like let's say we installed a home on 10/15 and waited to call that power company, and now it's, November 1st and there's 3 feet of snow on the ground, forget it. You're at the bottom of the list.
Bottom. Yeah, for sure. You really are at the bottom of the list. So yes, you're right. If it can happen, it will happen. You never know what's going to go on. I mean, it could be as simple as just a, oversized load delivery in the middle of the night. And then the town has a noise ordinance and they don't let you come in. But the only time in Connecticut you can deliver is from like midnight to 5 a.m. And then you come into a town and you're backing up, beep, 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 and the police show up, and then that's it. Shut her down. You got to go park it. What do you do? But you can't move them during the day. So if it can happen, it will. You just never know. And you got to check everything. Plan the best you can. But there has never been a perfect job site. There has always been something different. Maybe the same, but you haven't seen it in a while. But you just got to be ready to maneuver. But I will tell you, and this is the other comment from Jerry McCahey I love the best. With offsite construction, we can be wicked accurate. Wicked accurate. And here, I'm going to say it one more time like Jerry said it, because he made a very good comment. A lot of plans, a lot of architects, a lot of engineers put field verify on there, right? And I agree with him. Field verify? I mean, we got computers and digital technology. And then he really broke down. He goes, imagine, Dave, the greatest offsite builders in the world, NASA. Could you imagine if they got to the spaceship, the space station out there, and they opened up their plans and it says field verify? Give me a break. So why did I go down that path?
I don't know, but it's true.
Because that's what happens. It pushes liability. It gives everybody a way out. With offsite construction, the planning and coordination is so crucial, especially with concrete and everything else. I'm done. Go ahead.
So let's go back to where we were, because again, the stories that we're sharing with you are so that you don't bump into them yourselves.
That's right.
And the number one lesson that we didn't fully embrace early on as builders in this industry is that people are willing to help. They really are. Other builders are willing to help. Maybe not every single one, but set down that, competitive nature and just reach out and, don't be afraid to call other builders, join associations, meet other folks who are doing something similar. Because chances are, at the end of the day, you're both facing the same challenges. You're both up against, the same events that happen that you have control over and you don't have control over. And it's really so much better when you have a peer group or trusted advisors that you can reach out to and say, help me.
Help. Listen, in this whole industry, everybody's always been willing to help. It is such an amazing industry. And I think that no matter where you are, you go on these forums on Facebook and YouTube and elsewhere, people are helping people all day long. Now, there's a lot of misinformation out there as well. That's why you should go to YouTube, our YouTube channel, and check it out. But the bottom line is, any one of these people that we're seeing that we know from the show and being on, they're always willing to lend a helping hand. They're always willing to help educate. They're always willing to take you under their wings. So I think with that said, I mean, this is what you're getting to. Ask questions. People will help you and help you become successful. You're not on an island by yourself.
Absolutely. And our very, very last lesson learned is continually refine your process. None of us are perfect. Take a look at the job that you just completed, the client that you just contracted with, and refine your process. How did that sales process go? How did that installation go? How did that, finish work go? Constantly look back, evaluate, share learnings with your team, build upon your strengths, correct some of your misses, and continue to refine your checklists.
That's right. Correct your misses. I don't think you meant it the way
probably
I'm
not.
thinking of that. Correct your misses. No, but Jen's absolutely right. You got to look at every job. Where did you lose? Where did you win? What caused you to lose? What caused you to win? And how do you refine it and become better at it? It's a constant thing. It's not do it on every job. Sit down with your team after every project, buy some lunch, buy some pizza, whatever the case is. Go over what happened, what the budgets are, where it went to. And one other big thing that we've learned over the years is your team can help you become even more profitable. Share the wealth. Find ways that they can make more money by taking it to the next level, right? We believe in this, and that's everybody from the person that answers the phone all the way through. This is a big, big deal. Find a way to have your team feel like they're part of the team, part of the success. If you're successful, they'll be successful, and they'll help you be successful, especially if they start seeing it in their pocketbook. That's what we're all here, is that as much as we love culture, we all still need to pay the bills and buy the groceries and eat at Chick-fil-A. I like Chick-fil-A. Can't eat it much, though, because it fattens me up.
So these are not all the lessons that we've learned. And certainly we're sure that you have more that you could share. But again, this is just a little bit of a roadmap. We have 52 weeks of content where we've explored a lot of these wins and misses. We invite you to go back, take a look, ask questions, comment, and as always, reach out to us because there are people willing to help.
Yes. All right. Do we have any more hellos or comments? Let's just see who is out there. 2 p.m. for Etienne. Tomorrow, 2 p.m., Mass Timber Conference. Etienne from SIGA will be speaking. What are you speaking about? I don't want to know.
Well, they have their new products, their solutions for mass timber.
I got
this
it.
is why you need to go to the Mass
I
Timber
know.
Conference.
I'm going. I am. As soon as we hang up, I'm going. But the thing of the matter is, like, Etienne's not just talking about his. Etienne can never talk about just his product.
Oh, my gosh.
Etienne's going to have some intelligent conversation on how we can do things better. He always does. He always has a different way of looking at things, and they have great product, and they're not even paying us.
I know.
Oh, okay, Greg. Time. And Greg, that means Greg has a meeting. He's tired of waiting for us talking.
I know.
All right. Well, should we do the award first or the announcements first?
Oh, I'm torn. But no, let's do the award first because those people might want to get off and start joining. So
They may not even be on today. You never know.
So thank you to everyone who has shared the love, shared our channel, invited others to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is YouTube.com/Dave Cooper Live. Because without you, we can't do what we do. So thank you.
So Jennifer, I mean, this is exciting. This is a $900 award, like award. What is it?
Freebie.
A $900 giveaway prize. And it's a thank you. And it's great that the International Mass Timber Conference people are giving us these things. If you have something you want to talk about, or you want to launch a conference, or you have something big happening, Dave Cooper Live's becoming the place to have those conversations and pre-show launches. And we're going to start giving away and getting things like this. So, all right, Jennifer, have at it. I got to put it up high so people can see. Oh, you're not allowed to look.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm going for blue because that's my favorite color.
Oh,
all right. Oh my gosh. Outstanding.
Kirk.
This is one of our recent guests on Mass Timber, architectural technologist, Kirk Hodgson.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, cool. Kirk Hodgkins in the house, in the house. All right. Go ahead. You get the second one.
Oh, gosh. I get to pick another one? All
right.
right.
I'm just taking my hand off. You can't look.
I am looking because I'm on green.
You want green.
All right.
There's any M&Ms.
Our second winner, outstanding, all the way from Brazil.
Oh, is that Pedro?
Yeah.
There, Pedro in the house, dude. He's gonna be so excited.
So
he was like one of the first ones, and then second one. All right, so listen, we will reach out to you with the code as soon as the show's over here. If you're in the audience, let us know you're there. But there you go, Kirk Hodgson. Here you go, hold it up, Kirk Hodgson.
I don't know. Can I see that?
I don't know. Let's try. Hey, fancy camera technique. Oh, come on, Zoom.
All right, that's okay. But you can take our word for it.
There it is.
But super duper exciting.
Pedro and Kirk, right?
Yeah, that's okay.
All right. So thank you, everybody, for that. All right, now let's get into what we have going on, Jennifer. 52 weeks. Are we continuing with 6 days a week, Jennifer?
Alas, we are not.
We are not. We're not?
Are we?
No, we're definitely not. So listen, all right, so we're going to make some changes on Tuesday and Thursday. I mean, we're still having our show this Thursday. But some of the things that we have been working on behind the scenes with, all the conversations we have, we started talking. We have people in the audience like Etienne who are making comments about, when are we going to get the Koopapedia and things of that nature going. We have a big issue in our industry, and that's who we are as an industry. And, what do we call ourselves? And we're going to have shows coming up over the next 5 weeks just on this. We're going to start categorizing these things, and we're going to start naming them in a big way. We're going to start putting it out there. We have been speaking with people from all over the world about this, and we've been speaking with you here in the United States about it, and it's about time that we get some very clear direction on where we're headed. And we are going to be also launching, go ahead, you tell them, what's coming up June 1st, Jen?
Well, if all things go as planned.
They will.
We're taking all of the amazing conversations, all of the content that we've created, all of the data and the amazing stories that people have shared with us.
That's right.
And rolling that into our findings and sharing with all of you in a very clear and concise format what Dave is describing. Number one, there are significant problems facing all builders in the U.S.
That's right.
And around the world. One of the number one issues is housing affordability. And the social impact of what we do and how we do it has tremendous meaning as it relates to those solutions and those problems. So we're taking all of our findings, all of our learnings, talking about housing affordability, defining efficiencies. A lot of this conversation happened last week in our roundtable with Jerry and Greg and Brittany, who was amazing, and Henry, of course. How could I forget?
Oh, wait till the Mickelberg gets hold of you.
Oh my goodness.
That's a boxer's name, the Mickelberg. Mickey.
Oh my gosh.
My grandfather was Mickey.
He would fight me with words, that's for sure. But essentially what we're saying is, how do we define who we are as an industry in order to collectively define solutions for some of the biggest challenges that we all face?
That's right.
And as builders, creating efficiencies, defining those efficiencies, achieving those efficiencies has such social impact. We're going to take a stab at this. And Etienne, thank you for cheering us on. And again, this was not prompted at all.
No, Etienne had no idea that we're working on all this stuff behind the scenes. You're right. But this is what's happening. It's being brought up a lot. And here's the difference, Jen. We are beheld to nobody or anything. This is all just pure industry insights, non-objective. We're not paid by Oracle or Autodesk or anybody like that. This is stuff that we have found, and we've learned some pretty amazing things during the course of this year that I think is going to really help a lot of people out there.
Absolutely. It's actually fully objective because we're not tied to anything.
Did I mess that up?
No, but I think that again is an example of how we're trying to bring together everything we've learned. And listen, there's room for growth for all of us. So if you have an opinion on this, if you have a point of view, please reach out to us, private message us, send us a note via LinkedIn or reach out to us directly. Schedule some time with us to talk, because how do we bring all of this language together, really identify who we are, what we're trying to achieve? Because if we all work together, if we all work in unison, we absolutely have a better opportunity to achieve those efficiencies and help a lot of people. Yeah,
that's 100% correct. So June 1st, we are going to be putting some information out there. We're not going to get into exactly all the details on it yet, but we will be doing that. So starting next week, we're still doing some other shows on Tuesdays and maybe Thursday. We're going to start having some other conversations. So Building Modular is still going to be there. We're still going to be doing some things with it, but we're going to switch up the show. You're probably going to see us 3-4 days a week versus 6 days a week moving forward. But we're not going away. We're only getting better. We need some time to really work on some of these really big things, and we're really excited to be able to do this with everybody. And those of you, like Jennifer said, that are out there, if you'd like to be part of this conversation, you want to be part of this global participating event that we're about to put on, and the information we're going to put out there, please join us. The universities, everybody are taking a part of some of this. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's it for today. Really,
52 weeks.
Really extra long show today. Sorry about that. Thanks
it's
for
an hour and 5. Extra long was last
with
Monday.
Us. Oh my gosh, I know. Thank you everyone for staying with us. And again, reach out if you have a point of view or an opinion from here in the U.S., from around the world, where this has been fully adopted in many countries.
That's right.
Please reach out. Would love to hear from you and incorporate that into our publication coming out in June.
That's right. June 1st. Put it on your calendar. We're going to beat it. And between now and June 1st, make sure you start coming to some of these events. We are going to start defining who we are as an industry. We're going to have some real conversations, just like we started last Monday with real roundtable, big players, and we're going to go to the next level. We're tired of being in last place as an industry. We are going to be in first place, and we're going to make that happen starting now. Right now. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. We appreciate
one more thing. How could we forget? Tomorrow, AutoVol, volumetric modular in the house.
So caught up in our own world. See, Jennifer, can't be so selfish.
I know. It every week I say it can't get better. And here tomorrow, on the heels of having Merrick on the show, on our Increasing Influence show, #1 solutionaire for AutoVol, no doubt. Tomorrow we are so honored and pleased to bring to this audience a conversation with Rick Murdoch, who, together with amazing industry partners, I think Wixford Technology, House of Robotics, bringing to you a fully automated robotic
manufacturing facility, volumetric facility,
out of Idaho, a behind-the-scenes conversation and look at all the good stuff that is happening.
Oh yeah, dude, this can be a great conversation. You haven't seen him on very many shows at all. Right here at Dave Cooper Live, we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow. He's high energy, good-natured, good-hearted, and really loves his team. Really loves his team. It's an amazing thing. So 1 p.m. tomorrow. All right, Jennifer, go ahead. Take us out.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us, and stay tuned for more information.
Bye now.
Bye.